Lou, in terms, I wanted to ask you about a match that you had with Brian Pillman. It was a
Oh yeah,
Superstars
yeah.
taping in '97. And what do you think of how Pillman Jr., I'm not sure if you're aware of how he's being presented, but he's getting the Michael McGillicuddy treatment, and they've given him a different name. And
Uh,
anyway,
they're trying to
anyway,
give
just
yeah,
wanted to get
give
your
him a
thoughts
horrible.
on working Pillman and then his son, if you had any interaction.
Actually, Frank will back me up on this story. Um, I got Pillman that night, and I was talking to Mick Foley about it, and he goes, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "He's not one of our best workers right now, and I don't know if it'll help you." And I looked at Mick, and I said, "Mick, I'm not in a position to say no. I can't say no here. I have to do it." So I was cool with it. I talked with Brian, and he had that voice, and he was walking around. I said he didn't want to do much. And which kind of surprised me. I'm flying Brian. I'm thinking in my mind he's going to want to do a bunch of high spots, all this stuff. I'm going to take all these cool moves. He goes, "I'm too old for that now," which it was post accident, and he was not in the best of health, to say that. And all I remember being in the ring with him, I remember Owen Hart that night said, "You got Brian tonight?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Don't let him spit on me," which he ended up spitting on me anyway. and he just wasn't in the best of health. I remember being in the ring with him, working with him, and I'm thinking, like, this guy should not be in the ring. He had to take a lot of drugs to get through it, but he was doing it to feed his family, and I can respect that. But I think if he would have done something else, like worked in an insurance office, found something else to do, he'd still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy. He gave me a little bit, very little bit, but I mean, I was putting him over. I knew it, and him and I worked together. Had a good match with him, and I remember afterwards. You remember that we're in the locker room area, and in the locker room area, we can hear him dry heaving in the bathroom. Brian, and he was like, like you sound like he was dying, and we were looking at each other like, should we get somebody? What should we do? But then we look across the room. There's Mick Foley and Shawn Michaels just talking to each other, and they're acting like it's no big deal. So we didn't get anybody. And I think it was like 2 months later, he died.